Greetings from ABC Acres. I'm Grant Shadden, and as promised, we're going to review our mobile chicken coop version 2.0. Now, we had our video where we reviewed our first mobile chicken coop, and we showed you the different features and the process that we went through to design and build it. And we used it for a couple of years, and like I said previously, there were things we really liked about it, and then things that we saw could really be improved upon. And that's following this permaculture principle of applying self-regulation and accepting feedback. So we saw where we made some mistakes, where we could make some improvements, and then we worked together to design our new mobile chicken coop so that we had more efficiency, a better environment for the chickens, and something that would be much easier for us to use. The first thing that we noticed about our old mobile chicken house was it was just a little too heavy. Our ATV could only pull it under perfect pasture conditions, and we want it to where one person can just hook up an ATV, move it without having to have a second person or a third person even pushing to get a head start. So you can see we have a handle here, which means our goal was met. We used lighter materials, less materials, and we came up with a chicken house that, when it's nice, flat, solid ground, can actually be moved just with manpower with one person. So hooking up an ATV and moving this wherever we need to is now no problem. Another new feature that we added that has been really a joy to work with are these external access nesting boxes. So we no longer have to go inside our coop to harvest our eggs. We just simply lower down this hatch and we can access our eggs right from inside. And we actually have one right here, right now. And so we can just harvest our eggs, and then additionally, the one that I'm probably most excited about as far as improvements go is this nest blocker. So the perch where the chickens use to access the nesting boxes actually is hinged, and we just pull it up when we're closing the coop up at night, and it blocks them from being able to get into the nesting boxes and poop and just dirty the things up. So that's one less step for us. It keeps a nice, clean, hygienic environment for the eggs to be laid in. There's less cleaning of the eggs for us to do, so it's a win all around. So I would highly recommend putting in some type of hinged nest blocker system into your nesting boxes. You'll be glad you did. An additional feature is our clean out access. We no longer have to go inside and clean out the coop. We can just roll our garden cart up, stick our rake in, and rake out our bedding that's been dirtied with all the manure, and get it right out without having to climb in our coop. And part of the reason is our roosting bar height. We have an even roosting bar height all through the floor, and that allows us to have no pinch points where it was difficult to get the pitchfork or rake in. We can just simply stand from the outside and rake. We have an access on each side of the coop, so they're staggered. So the other clean out starts on this end, and so we can easily get to all points and clean it out really quickly, much more easily, and that's the name of the game. You want to be able to do your chores, do your maintenance and management with as little impact on the animals, to let them just stay calm, and also to minimize your time going into it versus what you get out. Isn't that right? One of our last improvements to this new mobile chicken coop was the storage. Now, we always recommend having storage on a mobile chicken house or any livestock housing, so you're not having to haul as much of the feed or whatever other support materials for your livestock that you need back and forth between a barn or an outbuilding. Our last chicken coop had open storage, which allowed the chickens to get up there and roost and and poop on things, and it was just making it dirty, and it was another step of maintenance that frankly we didn't want. So we went ahead and made these doors to close in our storage area. We still have our feed, our grit, our crushed eggshells or oyster shells, our egg cartons. Everything that we need can go in here, but we don't have to worry about cleaning up after the chickens. And you can see this one right here, Ian hopping up in there, and that's why we keep the doors closed. Now, we encourage you to go back and watch our first video on our first chicken coop. You'll see that there's a lot of similarities, building on an old hay wagon chassis. We have ventilation under the overhangs just like the first one. And this time we did add up above a cupola type structure for extra ventilation, but the bones of it are the same, but you can see these new features have just allowed us to have more efficiency, a better, cleaner environment for our chickens, and it's just a win-win for everybody. And that's where applying these permaculture principles of self-regulation, accepting feedback, and realizing that mistakes are tools for learning can just always be improving your design and your operation for managing your livestock or whatever else it is that you're designing and wanting to create abundance in. Well, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section and we'll be sure to get back to you. And once again, thanks for watching.